When the Rizzler, when they have to let him out of his cage.
Who is that kid? Who is the Rizzler?
Dude, they keep him in a cage.
Who is the Rizzler? His name is Discover Christian Joseph. He's a 4 to 120 pound football player.
He's probably
known as the Rizzler.
That whole family is setting Italian Americans back 50 years, and it's driving me nuts.
Man, don't say that.
That's all we got. We used to have movie stars. You know, we used to mean something.
You still got Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
They're washed up. They're having kids at 80 years old. They're not helping us either.
They're solving the population crisis.
They're being weird.
And we're back on the new set.
Wow.
I know it's not new.
Wow.
We're coming at you live from Phil's house.
Phil's house.
Do we want to do that?
Why
we
not?
Can do that,
He's
right?
got all the gadgets. Phil said we can say it's his house.
Where are we?
We're at Phil's house.
We're somewhere in the foothills of Los Angeles.
We're at Phil's house. We both got divorced, and Phil's letting us stay with him.
That's right.
And he's letting us use all his cool gadgets and gizmos because being divorced is stressful, and it's important. Self-care is important.
You do sound different. Something is going on with your voice.
Oh, my God.
You sound clearer. You don't sound nasally, is what it is. It sounds like It sounds like you've got the day after a.
How does this sound when I start really letting?
Folks, for the audio
gizmos.
listener, he is massaging his pecs with his Theragun. Also, I apologize
That's
if we're
the nice thing about Phil's house.
if we're a little reverby. You're just gonna have to suck it up and enjoy it. Pretend that we're in a. I don't know, a Catholic church. Okay, so we got a great episode for you this week. We're gonna be talking all about lots of things.
Our two favorite boys got together.
Oh God!
And they did a little podcast of their own, basically.
They really did do basically a podcast. Yeah, Trump and Elon Musk did a podcast, and we listened to it so that you don't have to. And we're gonna be filling you in on all the goodies of it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about...
we also got to talk about Elon's fight with advertisers.
Yes. There was an earthquake here in Los Angeles.
Oh, my God.
We got some other stuff, so stay tuned. Let's get right into the comments of the week, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so...
Do this one first. I want to save my favorite one.
Yeah. Okay, so this first one from YouTube, it comes from Ivan Rampy. And he says, is Emil's head getting larger by the episode or Ben's just getting smaller?
Who knows? It's a great question.
I did not know that mine was even
This is my favorite one. This one also comes, I hate to, I'm sorry for just the average Joe YouTube loser. I keep bringing up these paywalled Ben Emil Show user comments,
okay.
But they're kind of crushing it over there on the platform.
This comes from Donald Whump.
Read it.
Hell yeah, r/poo and r/no poo back for another week. That has layers to
It's
it.
a really good one.
Yeah. For my mom, r/.
Yeah, if you don't get it.
If you don't get, I'm not going to try to explain it.
But if you do get it, it's really good.
If you do get it, I'm upvoting you.
Yeah.
I'm giving you karma or whatever the fuck. I don't
and
know
that's
how
a big
that's
a big salute to all the soldiers in the Ben and Emil Show app.
Yeah, all the Emilian. What do they call you?
Millionaires.
No. But there's like a military word that they use.
The military.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't know.
That's pretty good. I'm in the military. Wow, man, there are so many puns you can do with our names. It's kind of insane. Okay, so we got that. Maybe we should talk about the earthquake real fast because here in Los Angeles, we just had a pretty big one. It was a 4.7.
4.4, I think, and I think it was either in like Highland Park, El Sereno, Pasadena area.
Yeah, and it shook us. I was eating a Go Macro bar, and then I got under my desk while still eating. I just went, oh my God, and I just sat under there, just on my butt. I didn't secure myself. I just kept eating the bar, just like, is this gonna get worse?
Yeah, it lasted quite a while. It felt like a car drove into my house, and then you just have so much time to think. And I had grabbed Kev, and I was like, "Oh, should we just
Kevin's his dog.
Should we get under the bed?"
Was he scared?
He was like, "What the hell's going on?"
He was like, "Damn, this interrupted my tennis ball catching."
He was snoozing on the couch, and then all of a sudden he was like, "What is happening?"
He does snooze?
He's a big snooze guy.
He does snooze?
Yeah.
Dip stuff?
Mhm.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's weird when you have time to think and your brain just runs through it, and you're like, how am I going to get Sarah? How am I going to get, we said we were supposed to do the go bags. We never did the go bags. We didn't buy the extra water. We didn't buy and then all of a sudden it stops and you're like, we don't need go bags.
I have plenty of supplies. I'm prepared. And if you are going to try to come maraud and take my shit, I'll kill you.
What are you going to kill me with? You got any weapons?
Not you.
Well,
I'd let you in because we need to stick together.
Oh, okay, okay.
But so I'm a little nervous actually for Japan because Japan just had a big earthquake and they put out a pretty substantial warning to the residents of Japan that they should prepare for potentially an even bigger one coming because all these other earthquakes could be a precursor to a big one, much how like the Fukushima one. There, I guess back then there were some substantial earthquakes that were like a precursor to the big tsunami one. Just something to think about. So if you're out there in Japan, be careful.
Dude, everyone should watch it. It's like a documentary from, what was it, 2011 when they had the big earthquake?
Yeah.
So they have so much footage of people just inside office buildings and apartments and stuff. It's so scary.
It is very scary. Yes.
Just fully.
And then everybody also, listen, I love when everybody sends me stuff, but you got to realize if you are sending me something that's a day old, I guarantee you I've already seen it.
No, see, don't send it.
I guarantee you I have already seen it. Like the Brazil plane crash is what I'm talking about.
If they operate on that, it's like when, remember the lady in the courtyard, she was getting like hacked to death or something, and all the neighbors are listening to her screams and they're going, well, surely someone else will call the cops.
Sure.
And so no one called the cops. So you gotta send it to Ben. It's actually your duty. If you never send Ben things,
then I'm never gonna know.
Yeah, but so everyone send it. You see a plane related thing, you see a neurodivergence thing, you see a something toilet related. Send it to Ben.
I really have nothing to say other than it's terrifying.
I mean, that one,
so
it's
tragic.
Like people were like, are they going to talk about it? And it's just like,
what is there to say? It's just awful.
Truly, yeah.
Yeah, the investigation is ongoing. They have no idea what happened. It went into a flat spin. It just crashed on its belly. And those poor people. I can't imagine being in a plane just falling like that. I'd rather be in a plane that's at least going forward while it's crashing instead of just straight dropping. Terrible roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
this is my anxiety is kind of like through the roof right now. Just earthquakes, planes.
It's okay, buddy. We'll talk about other stuff.
Also, let me know if I sound nasally or not nasally.
You don't sound nasally. Weirdly, you sound like you just got over being sick, and you sound clear, like extra clear.
For you, it sounds like my entire life I've been sick, and today I finally got over.
You sound tired, I guess. Is what I sound tired.
But which one is it?
I don't know, man. Don't gaslight
You're making
me.
Whatever.
I don't know.
I sound tired.
Anyway, so Donald Trump, one of the world's biggest, most renowned dipshits, talked to another famously dipshitty person. They talked on Twitter, and it was exactly kind of what you think it is. But first, he's been deteriorating even more than usual, and he's got this. He's always had an obsession with crowd sizes, but even more so recently, he's got this obsession with crowd sizes. And he's been attacking Kamala Harris's crowds as being AI generated.
Yeah.
Which is just it's just fake. So in fact, there was someone who took to Twitter and said, if you were at Kamala's Detroit rally, I invite you to reply or quote tweet this tweet with your pictures from it, because there were all these allegations that it was AI generated. And lo and behold, I mean, it's 100% real because they weren't faking the crowd sizes. This person, Big Banana, Vermont. There you go.
How do we know that that's not AI, though?
That's fair. I don't know that it's not AI.
You can kind of say it for everything.
Yeah, you really.
It's a pretty good catch-all.
It's
Before it was you'd have to say, well, they paid all those people to be there.
Yeah.
They're either they're getting a paycheck from the campaign to come fill the stadium. Now you can just say it's all AI, baby.
Hey, gang, we got to take a quick break here to thank one of our sponsors. It's MANDO. And, I got a big trip coming up, and I don't know.
We both do.
Yeah, we both got some big trips. We're going on vacaciones, as they say in Spanish. Yeah, I don't know. What am I going to do? Should bring a little shampoo, bring a little soap? No. Because I'm going to simplify it.
Yeah, what are you going to bring? A whole trunk with you for all your...
Yeah, geez Louise. No, I'm traveling with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does all the work of everything. It's got the face wash, shampoo, body wash, and deodorant.
All in one, baby.
All in one.
You can also use it to create a rich shaving lather. So technically it's a 5-in-1. That's insane, all right? It's clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours.
You love that, you stinky boy.
I mean, it's going to be hot on these trips, okay? So Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with a gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source.
Regular soap can't do that because the pH is too high.
We don't even know what that means, but it's, it simplifies your hygiene routine, and it's the only thing you need to pack. All right.
They got these 3 cologne quality scents. Mount Fuji, it's fresh and woodsy. Bourbon leather, my favorite, is sweet and sophisticated, just like me.
And I'm a pro sport guy. It's clean and citrusy, just like me.
Yeah, baby. So let's see here. It's safe to use anywhere on your body, this Mando. It's good for your pits, your packages, the grundle and balls, the belly button, butt crack, stinky crevices, stomach folds, and feet.
And the best thing is,
who is it created by?
You can feel safe because it's created by a doctor, all right? They saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, all right? Mando's American-made.
God bless America.
The whole thing, all right? The whole body deodorant is power enough for the toughest body odor, but gentle enough to use everywhere, allowing you to put Mando on the family jewels without any worry, because Mando is
aluminum-free, baking soda-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and even vegan. It is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. Boy, I'd hate to be the scientist who's tasked with measuring that. But with Mando, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. Now, that's a science job that I'd like to have.
Now, listen up. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping.
You said ripes. You mean wipes?
Did I?
Yeah.
I did mean wipes. If I said wipes, that's my fault.
It's okay.
And it's also free shipping. Luckily, we have a discount code to help you get hooked on our favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over
40% off your starter pack.
Oh, my God.
Use code BAZE at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. One thing that I did see on some stupid right-wing Twitter account was they posted a screenshot from a Craigslist ad from Phoenix saying we need actors to come to a rally, presumably Kamala Harris's rally. We're going to pay you. So they are still doing the paid actor thing, which is also fucking asinine because I guarantee that person who screenshotted that just made that Craigslist ad. It's so easy to manufacture this shit. But it really is fun watching all of this kind of shit just backfire these days. It's wild because for so many years they could get away with saying these outlandish easily disprovable things.
Oh, they're still getting away with it.
Yeah, but they're not getting away with it to the extent where it feels like it's actually making its way into affecting the narrative.
I think it is. I mean,
it doesn't to me. It feels like this time they're only fully in their echo chamber and it's not having any kind of substantial measurable effect on anything or anyone.
Yeah, but I just feel like at this point who is deciding between these two candidates who is being affected by any of this? So it's just like emboldening everybody. I don't think I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are going to be convinced one way or the other in the coming months, but I feel like people have made up their I always get so confused when they're like, we're out here talking to
Undecided
voters.
Yeah. Well, good fucking point.
It's
How are you still, if you are undecided out there,
I don't
want
care.
to know. I want to talk to you.
I don't care which way. I don't care which way you're voting, but just at this point, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. What?
What more do you need to know?
Also,
you can go either way.
Do these people understand the responsibility and the gravity of what falls upon their shoulders? Living in a swing state, in a swing county, like they really, every vote counts, sure, but their votes count like times 100 for sure. These people. Who are these people? But they count. Anyway, Trump's also back on Twitter. That's a big deal. He hasn't posted on there in ages. And then all his dipshit followers were making a big stink about it. And a bunch of his diehards are, wow, it's affecting me. I just did the Trump hand thing.
You did the white power thing.
I did the white power thing. Yeah, you got it. Clip this out of context. White power, folks.
That you are gonna have a clip of
that's gonna be great. Yeah,
white power.
Yeah, of course. I believe in white power. Sure. Oh God.
I've got the text to prove it.
Yeah. Oh sure. But they're all upset that he went back and ditched. Well, he didn't ditch Truth Social, but he because presumably he's gonna still post on there. But they're upset at him for going over there. But then also Nick Fuentes.
Wait, they're upset that he
went
now
back
going
on Twitter.
back to.
Yeah.
Why? It only stands to help him. I mean, I think
exactly.
he's been campaigning less, and I think he's kind of maybe in panic mode with the polls and stuff. I think he was gonna have a very easy time beating Joe Biden, and he was probably looking forward to beating Joe Biden in November. So he's kind of like, fuck, this is way different. Now I look old and weird and crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Do you think he's aware that he looks old and weird and crazy? Those around him.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell because he's so self-congratulatory, and I don't think he'll. It's like with the calling the crowds AI and everything. He can never concede any single thing. So I'm sure deep down he's like, this is not great, but yeah, he's got to get back on Twitter and like being part of the conversation again.
Yeah, it can only help him. It also is funny to point out that someone who is the poster child for the right wing and the future of the party, whatever, who's one of their main tenets is railing against victimization and victim culture that they see on the left. Trump is the biggest victim ever. He's like the biggest modern victim. He is constantly victimizing himself.
Yes, actually a victim, but victimizing himself.
He's the biggest fucking. Everybody's like, "Oh, liberals are such
his whole
victims." His whole thing is, "I am a victim.
They treated me very unfairly."
Constantly. Christ.
Every interview he does, he's like, "I don't like your tone, the way you're talking to me."
Yeah, jeez. But then, he can talk however he wants. He can. Anyway, you've got this thing pulled up.
It's your friend's tweet that always goes. People always screenshot it with a retweet from a conservative where it's what is his name? Krang T. Nelson or whatever. Yeah. It's that tweet where he says something like, "No, I said fuck your feelings. My feelings are very important and we need to."
Yeah.
It's always that. Like,
he's so smart.
They fucking scream and go crazy when you're like, "No, we don't have to pay attention." And they're like, "No, my feelings are so important."
Yeah.
I just pulled up this because it's so Elon Musk tweeted out this thing, which
Strap in, folks.
This is not an original thing to him. He did not credit anyone, but he's so
just looking at.
I mean, it's very strange. The two of these people really do. Trump and Elon kind of have pulled this trick on the world where they've told people there's some kind of like savior to the working class and stuff like that, and only they can save you from the elites. They are the elites. I'm so confused.
Yeah, they are the Trump has a gold toilet in a gold-clad bathroom in a fucking penthouse in Manhattan. He's a billionaire. Elon Musk is the wealthiest man in the world, who famously lays people off, is a union buster, and yet I just don't fucking.
To their credit, they are railing against other elites who are Democrats. Like you've seen the Gavin Newsom image of him kind of laying on his beautiful floor.
I haven't seen that. Man, he looks
You've never
good.
seen that? Well, you know who this is.
That's his wife.
Ex-wife.
Oh.
Now Trump Jr.'s wife.
Whoa, that's scandalous to me. To me, that
you never
is
knew
scandalous.
that?
No, I didn't know that.
But so, they are also railing against elites.
Yeah.
But
all right.
So he posted a thing that said, "You watched the Hunger Games and sided with the Resistance. You watched Star Wars and sided with the Resistance. You watched The Matrix and sided with the Resistance. You watched Divergent and we actually didn't watch Divergent.
I didn't watch Divergent.
A lot of people actually didn't watch Divergent, but you sided with the Resistance. You watched V for Vendetta and sided with the Resistance. When it's fiction, you understand, yet you refuse to see it when it's the reality you're living in. Wild."
Also, that's presumptive. I sided with the Resistance in all of these films. I love Darth Vader and the computers in the Matrix. I also loved I was hoping that what's her name in the Hunger Games?
Katniss.
I was like, man, I hope she gets an arrow through the chest.
Let's restore order again.
Yeah, let's restore order and balance. Thanos, I love that guy. I'm surprised they didn't include him. And I'm surprised they didn't include the Avengers.
I rooted for Thanos in that one.
Yeah, I rooted for Thanos. Snap those fingers,
Kill
boy.
these guys.
Snap those fingers.
What are they trying to avenge anyway?
Yeah. I don't know. Good point.
Thank you.
I got a lot of issues.
Avenge what?
I got a lot of issues with
that. But just the you have to be so fucking stupid to think that Elon Musk is some, and he's doing the whole Robert F. Kennedy Jr. thing where it's like the censorship in the one censoring people have never been the good guys, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, he's censoring all kinds of fucking shit on this bullshit platform he fucking bought.
Gang, we're taking a quick break to talk about a little bit of trading, because I'm a trader. I love my MOOMOO. I love my MOOMOO. I love Glenn. Glenn's the compliance officer, the chief compliance officer at MOOMOO. And if you know Glenn is one trustworthy guy, all right? I would trust him with my life, just like I trust MOOMOO with my trading. We get a unique little insight into rules and regulations thanks to Glenn all around investing platforms. And just to put it briefly, we trust Glenn. We like MOOMOO. I like MOOMOO. I've been trading options for, let me check the time here. 10 years? I don't know. And the value proposition that I get from MOOMOO is pretty unparalleled. You get $0 stock option contract fees and 50-cent fees on index options. There's also a lot of people ask me about, where do I go to learn? Well, MOOMOO's got you covered. There's an options boot camp and plenty of learning materials that help you with the basics of options trading. There's also customizable options chains, for the more seasoned trader like myself. There's all sorts of other tools on there just to look up fundamentals, compare stocks with other stocks, charting, you name it, they've got it. Emil, tell them what they're going to get if they sign up with MOOMOO.
All right, click the link in the description to jumpstart your investing journey today with up to 15 free stocks upon making a qualified deposit. And if you aren't quite ready to start investing, MOOMOO is also giving new users 8.1% APY for a limited time on your uninvested cash while you plan your first trade.
We love it.
Plus, if you're already a trader and want to graduate to a more sophisticated platform, transfer your portfolio to MOOMOO and earn up to $300 in cash rewards. So, make sure to click the link in the description and sign up to take advantage of these awesome promos and experience a better platform. Bye.
Thanks.
So these two got together for the Ultimate Podcast.
Yeah, the Ultimate Podcast.
The podcast to end all podcasts.
So, Elon, here, I'll just play
and we listened to it. It was over 2 hours.
I
would just have these moments of going, I cannot believe I'm listening to this.
Yeah, it sucked tremendous amounts of ass. I'll just play for you the intro here of Elon introing it.
So my apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers. And
so there's the first lie right there. He said that they were getting they got hacked and were getting attacked
by Democrats.
Saturated all of our data lines, like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this
here it comes.
This massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say. And but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation.
So a couple
Well,
things.
that's his whole thing. He's like, this is not an interview. All these interviews that journalists do are antagonistic, and people can't really be themselves in an antagonistic interview.
Which is a fair point.
No, it's not. This is fucking insane. When you listen to this thing, you go, this is why you want it to be somewhat antagonistic. For 2 hours,
He rambles.
Trump stops at about like the 40-minute mark. Trump says, I have to say, this is so nice to just have the floor. So Trump goes for 2 fucking hours just saying the most batshit insane stuff, talking about like
The same.
truly about how like Venezuela emptied out and all these countries emptied out 70% of their prisons and just dumped them in America. Just all kinds of shit. And Elon Musk can't even muster like,
He's just going,
are you sure?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean about that? And so it is not, it's like if you just say shit, people should be able to be like, I'm sorry, can you back up? That sounds a little fucking nuts.
Well, real fast. They didn't get his whole thing. Elon starts off by saying, oh yeah, we got hacked because they don't want anybody to hear what Donald Trump has to say. We've heard everything he's got to say already. There's no censoring of Donald Trump going on. Maybe you could have made that argument in 2016, maybe a little bit in 2020. I don't think that anybody's trying to censor him because we know everything he's got to say. They air his... Again, Elon Musk talks about how the mainstream media can't get enough of him. It's actually good for their ratings. So pray tell, who the fuck is trying to censor him? And even so, if they're trying to do that, if they were actually hacking X, the entire website would have been down. No,
just
it
the
is your
one
incompetence.
phrase. Yeah.
It's your company, my guy.
You probably
Also,
fired the guys who do that shit.
Dude, he said, I'll fix the bots on day one. It's still full of bots. It's still, oh man. So that's just the tip of the iceberg with my frustration with this fucking moron. They got the thing up and running after like 40 minutes.
Wait, while we're talking about Trump censoring, can you pull up the clip I sent you today of him talking about the Montana guy?
The Montana guy. Okay, let me see. Oh yes, John Tester.
Yeah.
Okay, this is I don't know what this is.
His name is John Tester.
Well, pause it for a second because Trump has started to censor himself a little bit. I've noticed but he's got a fun workaround of saying the things he wants to say.
Okay.
And I don't speak badly about somebody's physical disability, but he's got the biggest stomach I have ever seen. I swear. That's the biggest stomach. I have never seen a stomach like that. Because he doesn't look that heavy. You're not allowed to use the word fat. So if you use the word fat, you can say obese, you can say anything, but you can't say fat. That's the end of your political
Wait till he
career.
starts talking about Chris Christie.
I said it the other night. Somebody in the audience said, Chris Christie is a fat pig. And I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. You should not. And we argued about it for 3 or 4 minutes, and that was it. No, he's not a fat pig.
No,
He's not a
but
fat
he's got
pig.
this workaround now where he'll either say like, you can't say these things anymore. I wouldn't say it.
I thought his whole thing is
I
that
wouldn't say
he
fat.
says what you
He's
can't
heavy.
say.
I know, but then so he also uses someone else. He's like, I wouldn't say it. Someone in the audience called him a fat pig.
Okay, so it wasn't for them to call this an interview is just a joke. It wasn't an interview. It basically consisted of Elon. Elon can't string a sentence together. He's just that's how Elon sounds. And then Trump just rambles like my grandma, may she rest in peace, who had Alzheimer's. When I would call my grandma on my long drives home from work on Fridays, I would just let her ramble. She would ramble for 40 to 60 minutes about 1 or 2 things. and she would just repeat herself. And I just knew, like, this makes her happy. I will just let her go. Maybe sometimes I'd redirect the conversation to something else that we hadn't talked about 20 fucking times already. That's what it's like listening to Donald Trump. They first talked about the assassination.
It felt a lot like being around a New Jersey dad, one of those like Italian guys from New York who just like rambles on and on. You're like, there's no point in trying to argue with this type of guy. So you're just like, yeah, sure, Carmine. I guess the whole country's just full of fucking illegals. And
he also had this kind of weird lisp going, and I'm not sure if it was a microphone issue or what. But listen to this.
You broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices.
It's very weird.
Usually those are voices that, because I see you broke every record.
He's praising Elon for breaking every record. And by the way, now I was in the live stream. There were, I think when the one that broke, there were a couple 100,000. And then I believe at the peak during the actual broadcast, there were a little over 1 million people in there. But now they're saying there were over 1 billion views.
Well, during the interview, Trump, do you remember when he kind of like stopped it and they were looking at something and he goes, oh, wow, yeah, you were saying you were maybe going to get close to 20 million. You're 25 million. You're at double that. We're looking at 50,
he was
60
looking
million.
he was looking at the impressions on his own tweet announcing the thing.
Oh, okay,
he mistook it.
And so now Elon has posted that it's like the most viewed thing ever with over 1 billion impressions.
Yeah. So, yeah, they talked about the assassination attempt for a good 30 minutes, immigration, cutting government regulations, violence in big cities, inflation, and that Kamala Harris would suck as president. Elon didn't really ask a lot of questions. He just kind of said, yeah, and this thing is kind of bad also, right? And then Trump would just take the baton and fucking ramble it was so god-awful.
Did you notice the way Trump said blood when he was talking about
blood?
Dude, blood? I've never heard someone say blood like blood.
Okay, let me play a clip here for the 420 mark, I believe.
Missed your head. I mean,
well, the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great Trumper. He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. She said, this is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back, which is a nice thing for somebody to say, to be honest.
That's a nice thing for somebody to say, to be honest. I'd rather have my husband back. That's a nice thing for someone to say, to be honest. Him calling this dead guy a great Trumper reminds me of when Justin Bieber went to Anne Frank's house and signed the guest book and said she would have been a believer. It's like such a he's just so disconnected.
It's also, they dug up that guy's tweets and he has truly repugnant beliefs.
Yeah. But wait, here, let me pull up the next clip. He goes on to talk about, again, the crowd size.
And a lot of people get killed with those stampedes. We had more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games. And it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler. And a lot of press.
That's Elon right there? That's the majority of him talking is just him going, yeah.
Well, so Trump says he's going back to Butler.
Yeah, he did.
And do you remember how he said he's going to start his speech?
No. How did he say?
He's gonna go up there and he's just gonna go, as I was saying.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is my favorite part, talking about the assassination attempt. Hang on.
I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And so
thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up. And I wanted to stand up. I wanted to let people know, I felt I was good when they were on top of me, covering me, actually, very much covering me and very bravely. But I wanted to get up. I said, I want to get up.
I want to get up.
They wanted, they have everything there. They have they wanted a stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher. And I knew I was hit in the ear, but I knew I wasn't hit anywhere else. They felt I was hit someplace else because it was such a lot of blood. Was I alive? You really couldn't tell. When I stood up before the hand, before the, the fist in the air, they didn't know if I was alive.
It's just, I mean, God, you got. I can't believe I listened to the whole thing.
It's unbelievable.
Okay,
so then from there he moves on to immigration, and
he
he's
says,
really hitting.
They both
all
said that they like immigrants. They said that most immigrants they like. They
but
both
it's got to be the
acknowledged
right kind.
they got to be the right kind. They just want them to come in legally. They said Trump said that they're coming from Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. And Elon likened it. He said, who do you... I'm not going to do his fucking voice. I'm just not. I hate doing it. It makes me feel sick. Elon said, it's like, who do you want on your team, right? Most illegal immigrants are hardworking, but some of them are not. And
dude, that's the thing. He talks about when he went down to the border himself. We all remember the fucking picture with him
the
with
backwards
the
cowboy hat.
And he said, I went down there and I looked at them and they did not look like
friendly guys.
Like very nice people. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? You're just going to go look at a group of immigrants?
Those guys
and be like,
don't look very nice.
And he said, who do you want on Team America?
Yeah.
It's like, those guys don't look very nice. I don't want them on Team America.
He said, it's just not possible for the United States to absorb everyone on Earth. That ain't what's happening, my man.
Well, that's
sure. There is an immigration issue that probably needs to get solved one way or another, but to blanket, it
was very funny when Elon said, these everyone thinks of it as they're coming from Mexico.
They're not.
He said they're not. They're coming from Earth. There's so many people.
That's right. They're coming from Earth.
There's so many people coming
other places. They're
over
coming
our
through
border,
Mexico,
filling. I think they said it was 20 million people there. And, I thought it was a joke. Everyone's making fun of Trump for the asylum thing because they're saying that Trump is confused. And when they say that people are seeking asylum, he thinks that people have gotten out of mental institutions from...
Because he references Hannibal Lecter every time.
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter.
And he does bring it up in this. And I'm like, maybe he does think they're from insane asylums.
Maybe he's leaning into it as a meme. I truly don't know.
But so he thinks that... all these countries, they've released so much so that he thinks that pretty soon, if Trump doesn't get in, Elon and Trump will probably be, the next time they talk, they could be talking in Venezuela because it's going to be safer there. They've gotten rid of all their criminals and they've brought them here.
Interesting.
And so the real safe place, crime is going down around the world. You know why?
Because they're all coming here.
We have all the criminals.
Yeah. Dang. Wow. Well,
that's one way to solve crime.
Then talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Trump asserted that this was a coup. He said, I don't look like Joe Biden. I think he was the worst president we've ever had. But make no mistake, this was a coup. And then, of course, he talks about everything going on in the world would not have happened if he were in power. He said we wouldn't have had Israel, Ukraine. We wouldn't have had inflation. And then he says that inflation was caused by oil. What the fuck? My guy, inflation started. First of all, the president's got nothing to do with inflation. It's all about monetary policy from the Fed, from what I understand. I'm not an expert.
Well, and when we're talking about this, you have historical snags in logistics and just huge disruptions,
supply chain issues,
worldwide supply chain,
price gouging,
clusterfucks, and
interest rates.
Yeah,
and who was president when the inflation started? I think it was you, sir. I think it was you. And then they go on to talk about when they're talking about all these world issues. It was really funny. They're both saying Kamala Harris isn't intimidating enough.
Yeah, Elon says America needs an intimidating president.
The American president should be feared. It should be feared. It should be like he should be intimidating. Like Kamala Harris is just not a fucking God. I mean, sure, I guess it's better to have an intimidating president than a baby. Which wouldn't be intimidating unless it's like a...
Although if Biden were to win again, we would have a baby.
We would have a big baby as a president. Man.
Which Could be fun.
I
Baby's
don't-
day out.
I don't know. You know what's wild? I was talking to someone the other day who
It's not that wild. I talk to people most days.
who works with children, and it's not just babies that have a hard time with pee pee poo poo.
What?
Even like 5-6-year-olds, like full on.
Oh, I fucking shit my pants when I was like, I don't even know, like pretty old at karate.
You shit at karate?
It was horrible.
Oh, can you tell us what happened?
It
Did you
was
get
just
kicked
like-
in the stomach and went, oh? I mean,
I don't know exactly. I think I've talked about this before. I was like a shy kid, and like I was always so afraid to like
shit yourself?
be like, can I excuse myself and go to the bathroom?
Right.
So I was so timid.
Oh yeah, and then your dad was like, why didn't you just?
No,
ask
that
it-
was a different one.
Oh, that was a
This one,
different time.
My mom was there, and I think she noticed like something come out of my karate pants and was like, Jesus Christ, and came over and was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And so just a lot of times where I'd be like too afraid to ask to go to the bathroom. So yeah, not just babies who have pee pee poo poo problems, as Ben said.
Well, so then Trump went on to talk about. They went on to talk about global warming, and it was interesting hearing Trump kind of thread the needle about how Elon Musk has really beautiful, well-designed products, meaning his cars, but that oil should not be done away with. Elon then says, yeah, you definitely need the oil and gas industry to if we were to do away with it, the entire world economy would collapse.
But his whole thing was that we cannot vilify the oil industry. He kept saying that. He's like, and the way they talk about it is very funny. So Elon Musk is talking about how if you have a certain parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere, then you're going to have trouble breathing, and it's going to give people headaches. So even from just not a warming perspective, it's going to cause trouble. But for him, he's like, it could be very far off. And I think at one point they say like they're talking about 100 to 105 years left. And we're like, okay, then get to fucking work. That's not that long.
Yeah. If you
When you're
believe that,
talking about
Elon Musk, then why are we
completely-
talking about going to Mars, sir? If you think that humanity doesn't have that much time, shouldn't you try to save the planet that actually has proven life and life-giving resources and stuff, than to send us fucking a million miles away to a dead planet that has none of the above? Sir? Trump says the biggest threat is not global warming, but nuclear warming, which I'm going to give him credit. I think I know what he means. He means that there is the
rising threat of
thermonuclear war, which again is something that only he can avert because other leaders respect him. Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, they all respect and fear him to an extent.
Again, this is so many of these stories. He tells them like a New Jersey dad I'm talking to, where it's like, there's this big problem, and then he's like, and I just went down there, and I'm like, okay, what happened? And then it's like, nah, I solved it. It's like, what are you talking about? But everything, he's like, and I went and I had a conversation with Kim Jong Un. It's like, no, you.
I talked to Putin. I said, you better not do that. You better not do that.
The most beautiful quote is when he said, I said to Putin, no way, or no, Putin said, no way, and I said, way.
Yeah, that was good. I wish I had that pulled up, but there's just so much crap.
Beautiful.
He also Trump also says they're going to build America's own Iron Dome, and it'll be the best in the world.
Also,
to protect ourselves, I guess.
Did you hear him? He hints at the fact that there is another Iron Dome in the world.
Oh yeah, that it exists. I can't. It's probably a secret, but
that's
there's
the other
other
thing
people.
Where Elon Musk was like, the beautiful thing about this is it's not going to be adversarial at all. And it's like, would it have killed you to ask where that other Iron Dome is?
Yeah,
I'd love to know.
And then Elon, I wish I could have found it, but Elon made a terrible joke about how a lot of people are leaving some of these more liberal states like California. And he said, yes, some of these politicians should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award.
Oh, yeah, that one was really beautiful.
And then he laughed. Oh, okay. Let's see. Trump went on to compliment Kamala Harris's looks. Let's see.
This is really
very
good.
We
Weird.
need people that have an ability to lead, and she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now, you know Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating, or
No, it's
even
silly. It would be
standing
silly.
together? It is, the whole concept is ridiculous. She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania.
What is he talking about?
Didn't look.
Yeah.
She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that, right?
What?
And he's the
Wait,
only one-
what?
He's the only one who can. He's the only one who negotiate with anybody. He talks about, which I really loved. So he talks about how bad of a deal every other U.S. president is getting, and he brings up Boeing's.
Oh, that was great.
The Air Force One. He said they came to him and they said, if you want the Air Force One, it's going to be $5.7 billion
For two of them.
And he says, well, this is a terrible deal. Who negotiated? And he said, Obama. So I knew it was a bad deal.
Yeah.
And then he says he gets them down to $4.1 billion, and they even threw in a better paint job. And it's just like,
Well, yeah, he says, boy, they must be making a lot of money if they can afford to just knock $1 billion off the price and have it be completely the same. Well,
I mean, he's not wrong there. I mean, if the government contracts are probably out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, so many military contractors have whistleblowed and talked about how you can just like lose track of Humvees and
we
doesn't
got to
even
be
fucking
fair
matter.
here. If he did in fact get Boeing to knock $1 billion off the price tag for 2 new Air Force Ones, hey, great job, sir. Without doing anything, all he did was say, "I'm not going to pay that." And
No,
then they
thank
came
you
back
for-
and thank you, sir.
for saving the American taxpayer some money on
$1
that.
billion. And
$1.6 billion, nothing to sneeze at.
predictably,
A lot better than Obama could do.
predictably, they're doing. Did I say that right? Predictably, see, their brainworms are just infecting me because I just
Did you listen to it 2 hours straight, or did you take a break?
I had to leave. I had to go to dinner.
I went 2 hours straight, and it was
It's so hard to listen to. I'm not even trying to be funny here. It really is hard to listen to Donald Trump talk that long.
well, it's just frustrating. There were times where I literally wanted to like pick up the computer and scream and be like, "That is someone say that's not true. That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy." And you have all these things where he desperately he doesn't want to do events where there's going to be fact checking. I think when he did that insane interview with I don't know exactly what the organization was, but it was black journalists.
Oh yeah,
and
the black journalist.
he had that
group.
insane gaffe that probably won't make a difference to anybody, but
Which one? Where he said, I thought she was Indian, but she now says
yes,
she's black.
She's black all of a sudden, that one. But he apparently came out late. He didn't want to come out because they had told him, we have a live fact checker, and he was like, "No, I don't want to go out there if you guys are going to be."
Well, because their facts are they're slanted. They are.
Yeah, I couldn't help
skewed.
but read the replies to the posted audio, and there was a lot of people talking about how mainstream media uses accuracy as some kind of weapon, and it's not all about accuracy. And I was like, that seems wrong.
Well, so here's a Autism Capital got a collection of the this is their handle on Twitter. Collection of the negative headlines from the Trump and Elon thing. And it's true. I mean, it's from USA Today, Fox News, Newsweek, The Guardian, Reuters, Hollywood Reporter, The Verge, The Independent, CNN, NPR, you name it. It's all some flavor of Trump rambles. Elon, it's an unmitigated disaster. He repeats the same talking points. Grumpy old men, light on news, heavy on personality. Just there, it's panned. Everybody's panning it because that's what it objectively was. It was Trump rambling about the same shit he always rambles about, and Elon Musk interjecting with his stupid 2-bit things. But of course, just by virtue of the fact that they are all pointing it out in unison means that it is all them having the same shared groupthink. Elon said, a wall of negative headlines was so predictable. They're such NPCs. All this does is drive even more people to listen to the conversation themselves and realize how much the legacy media lies to them.
That's what the worst part is. These guys are so shitty that we are now defending mainstream media and Democrats. This fucking sucks.
I'm really tired of it, man. It's really exhausting. Yeah, and then Elon combined views of the conversation with Donald Trump and subsequent discussion by other accounts now over 1 billion. So you're telling me that like 3 times the amount of American citizens were watching this? It's just it really hurts my head.
I love when Trump had I love when he does this kind of flattery thing, and he said, it's so lovely to talk to you. We can talk about anything really, tunnels, rockets, and now this whole AI thing. I think that's going to be another beauty. AI, just fucking insane. That's going to be
Tunnels, rockets.
That's going to be another beauty.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about? What do you know about tunnels and rockets?
Well, because they got on the topic of high-speed rails, and to Elon's credit, I mean, it's very odd. He kind of says these things because he's been this visionary for everybody for so long. Honestly, it doesn't feel like anyone really woke up to the fact of how crazy he is until he started kind of aligning with conservatives, which is frustrating. Yeah. But for all his faults, he does seem to want some kind of visionary future, but he kind of acts but oftentimes acts in opposition to it, and is hard to understand what exactly it is. But he talks about how America should be a place where cities are connected by high-speed rail. Seems like a thing he could be working on.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the fuck he hasn't brought that to fruition. What we do get is a ridiculous Hyperloop in Vegas, which Donald Trump praised. He's like, I saw what you did there in Vegas. I mean, I don't see why we can't have tunnels all over this country. Just drive
I'm all
Teslas.
for that, man. Look, if, God forbid, knock on wood, Trump gets elected, I have no choice but to root for these things to come to fruition. Not the other things, but please.
But not a fucking Hyperloop.
Sure, but work together to make high-speed. Just make it happen, then, please.
But it's bullshit.
It's not gonna happen.
He gives away the game.
Who gives away the game?
Musk. He says, I do not consider myself a Republican, and everyone is aligning me with the far right now. I consider myself.
I wonder why.
But that's the ridiculous thing. He said, I consider myself a moderate Democrat, and I always have. And the way, because they do it many times throughout the interview, the way they talk about Harris and Walz, it makes me excited about them.
Yeah.
He talks about how they are socialist incarnate. It's Marx. But I'm like, buddy, if you consider yourself a moderate Democrat, you have a candidate in the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she is like,
she's very moderate.
Like cozy with big tech, cozy with Wall Street. I mean, her brother-in-law is like a hot shit Silicon Valley guy. I can't remember. I know he definitely worked at Uber for a time. It's like, you have your fucking candidate.
Speaking of
you don't need to do any of this stuff. You're just being insane divorced guy.
It's also because didn't Kamala just steal, quote unquote, part of Trump's platform about cutting taxes or something?
It was that she also said she won't tax tips.
And you would think that these people would be like, oh, that's great. She's using one of Trump's things. Not like fucking Trump invented that. But
I mean, who started taxing tips?
Obama?
No, their hero, Reagan.
Oh, God. Yeah, I remember working as a waiter, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Don't tax my tips unless I got cash. Then it was like, I don't tell nobody. But, all right. Well, so the last bit of news about Elon Musk, and then we can put this away, is they are, we've talked about it a little bit, but they're, Linda Yaccarino, the CEO now of X, they are...
Formerly an Animaniac.
That's very good. She put out a really unsettling video.
Dude, it's so scary.
She's
Hey everybody. I was shocked by the evidence uncovered by the House Judiciary Committee that
Wait, she's got two necklaces. One says mama and the other one says free speech.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
a group of companies organized a systematic illegal boycott against X. It is just wrong. And that is why we are taking action. Today, we filed an antitrust lawsuit against the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, 4 of its key members, and the World Federation of Advertisers. These organizations targeted our company and you, our users. The evidence and facts are on our side.
Okay.
It's really not, though. This is like the most crybaby bullshit I've ever seen. I mean, we're talking about advertisers, and advertisers famously don't want to put their brand next to a fucking, dangerous hate speech, things that
Whatever.
are sexual in nature,
Yeah.
which is what so much of Twitter has become since he took over. I mean, you click a tweet. I mean, I'm nervous to open sometimes things. You don't know if you're going to see a woman spreading her asshole and being like, check out my OnlyFans, pussy in bio, whatever.
Yeah.
Or just...
Well, and here's Elon Musk at the New York Times Dealbook Summit earlier this year, I believe.
Right.
I hope they stop. You hope...
Don't advertise.
What?
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
Oh.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
Oh.
But go yourself.
Oh, okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah, no, it's pretty clear.
But it's not even fucking blackmail. I mean, he's saying it's blackmail because they're saying like, hey, if your platform is not safe for advertisers, we can't advertise there.
Yeah.
He's like, you're blackmailing me. You're blackmailing me with money.
Oh, man, Pornhub is also railing against Nabisco and Kellogg's et al.
Right.
Because they refuse to advertise on Pornhub. And they're all bandying together to not advertise on Pornhub.
But there are so many platforms, like YouTube is a fucking bitch. We put the show
Whoa.
out.
That's his opinion, not mine.
We put the show out on YouTube, and YouTube's number one thing is keeping advertisers happy.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. This platform.
That's my number one
this
thing, too.
platform exists so they can. Google is an ad company. Everything is an ad company. Your entire purpose is to walk around and look at ads so you can make money for people.
That's pretty cool to say.
It is. And so and in between your ads, you get to look at stuff you like. That's the trade-off. And so the only reason we can do this is because we can't say like fucking certain things in the first minute and blah, blah. You have to
Things
adhere
that
to
he
things.
wants to say
I want to say them so bad, but I can't say it on YouTube. But like, that's why fucking Rumble started. Rumble actually got in on this too, because Rumble's like, yeah, hey, wait a second. There's a conspiracy against us too. We have a bunch of guys saying the N-word on our platform.
Yeah.
You guys should be forced to
Hey,
advertise.
Kellogg's,
with
hey,
it."
Nabisco. Why don't we get the Cheez-It Extra Toasty advertise on Rumble
It's
in
just-
front of Nick Fuentes and all this shit?
It's just like, I don't. It's not some conspiracy. It's just become
No, it is.
unsafe
It's for sure a
them.
conspiracy.
This is a very. I mean, I'm very curious to see how it plays out. It's obviously a very unusual antitrust case where I don't even know what they're saying is the anti-competitive nature of. They're just. That's exactly what he's all for. He even talked about it in the interview when Donald Trump said he wanted to get rid of the Department of Education, have no more federal funding for education,
yeah.
which is fucking
Forgot
psycho.
about that.
And then he said, Elon said, yeah, you know what will happen is people will just move from their homes to the states where there's better education. Because Donald Trump said, you know what? Not all the states are going to have good education, but I bet 30 to 35 will. We might have 60% of people with good educations. Just an absolute fucking maniac. So this is what's happening, Elon. You built a bad platform and your advertiser said, you know what? I'll just fucking move.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But, that whole...
That's your free market at work, bitch.
That whole thing he was making fun of, the World Federation of Advertisers and their global alliance for responsible media, has disbanded since the lawsuit happened. People are calling it like a win for Elon. I don't really... These people don't need some kind of alliance to not advertise on fucking butthole pictures.
Yeah.
It's like CVS is just gonna be like, no, I'm actually all set. We'll just buy ad space elsewhere.
Well,
Especially after you told me to go fuck myself.
speaking of, I don't even know, going and fucking yourself. We'll shift gears a little bit here. We'll lighten we'll just sprinkle in some other news. I just thought this was nice. The Redfin CEO says that they'll drink their own piss if interest rates don't drop. Yeah, he literally says, here's the headline from TechCrunch. Redfin CEO, which is they're a real estate company, similar to Zillow, promises to drink our own urine if mortgage rates don't fall. He asked when he was asked about the company's plan B if mortgage rates don't fall, Redfin CEO Glenn Kelman, hey Glenn, said plan B is to drink our own urine if our competitors' blood stay in the foxhole.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
does that even
what
mean?
the fuck is going on
And
with
Plan
these
C
CEOs,
is eating
man?
my own shit.
Yeah.
Remember when wasn't it the guy who did the fucking antivirus? What was that crazy guy?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
he
Holy
fucking
shit.
died. Whatever.
He had a great voice too.
But insane. But he said he would eat his own
McAfee, John McAfee.
He said he would
I'll eat my own penis on live television if Bitcoin does not hit 100,000 by the end of this year. And then
the problem is we never hold these guys accountable.
Yeah,
we should have forced.
should have put a gun to his head and said, "Eat the
Eat
dick.
your own fucking dick.
Eat your dick."
Eat your
Sir?
own goddamn dick.
I
Wouldn't it be sick? I would have watched. Now that I would have watched for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, I would have
and
watched
would've
that on
said-
X.
I wouldn't have said once, "Why am I watching this?" I
And
would have
Kellogg's, I'm sure, would have advertised.
Yeah.
Nabisco would have put the Cheez-It extra toasted ones in front of that shit. Also, Costco is cracking down. Bad news. If you share your Costco card, they're cracking down now. You can't do that anymore.
I say good.
It's like Netflix. They see this is, to me, this is a yellow flag. This means that they're probably their revenues or their profits are maybe stagnating, and they've got to they got to milk that little nip a little bit more and get just a little bit out because the stock's at all-time highs. You got to keep expectations going. You got to keep those numbers jacked. Those are rookie numbers. You got to
Yeah, but I
pump
think with
those up.
Costco, it's a case of I don't know. It reminds me of when REI changed their policy of like, you can bring back something. We don't care if you wore it for 25 goddamn years. You bring it back, you get a refund if you don't like
Didn't
it.
you do that with climbing shoes
No.
once?
I mean, I've definitely taken advantage of it in the sense that if I don't like something, I'll be like, yeah. But people would buy a whole bunch of shit,
Use it.
yeah, and then be like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But
Costco's the same way.
and-
They've got a similar return policy.
well, right,
You can do anything.
everyone takes advantage of it, and then when it has to change because they're being taken advantage of, they're going, "Oh, what the hell is going on here?"
What the hell?
And it's like, I just saw some lady on Twitter. She returned her couch after years of
Abuse?
use.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were like, "We're moving, and I just want a new couch." So I loaded it up into the truck and I took it back.
I heard that some woman also returned something that she had bought 20 years earlier or something. She didn't have a receipt, no nothing, and they just accepted it. And you know what? They should. You know why? Because it's good, easy, free publicity. If they were to not, it would just be nothing. They would just, okay, yeah, sorry, lady, that's too bad. But
yeah,
if
well,
they
then
say
don't
yes,
don't complain when they
Take
gotta crack down on their membership stuff.
Hmm.
You want to go in there, you want to live high on the hog, you want to take all their free samples, you want to return your couch, and then you're like, wait, my friend John can't use my card? He kind of looks like me. That's insane.
I just think that Costco family,
Dude, they
I don't know,
freak me
something
out.
bad's going to happen.
I
to them.
don't-
They're going to get in a car accident or something. I just know it.
There's something really sinister.
I don't think that there
behind-
is.
No, there. What's going on with Dad's face? There's
chunk chocolate
It's a double chocolate chunk.
I like the chicken bake. I like the chicken bake.
And you know,
Boy, that kid's just he's on the cusp of discovering masturbation.
oh, that's the real
That's
downfall.
going to change him.
When the Rizzler, when they have to let him out of his cage.
Who is
to
that
get-
kid? Who is the Rizzler?
Dude, they keep him in a cage. And
Yeah,
they
but
only
is
let
he
him out for
related to
videos.
them?
Dude, the Rizzler's related.
Is he really related to
Yeah,
them?
and
In
he's
what way?
surprisingly mature for his age.
Who is the Rizzler? His name is Discover Christian Joseph?
No,
A
it's
4
saying
to 1
discover Christian.
Oh. Wait. This AI thing that's telling me it's like it says he's a 4 to 120 pound football player.
He's probably
known as the Rizzler. What the fuck is this kid?
Dude,
who
those-
is the Rizzler? Costco. The Costco guy and the Rizzler. I don't give a shit. anymore.
That whole family is setting Italian Americans back 50 years, and it's driving
No,
me
man,
nuts.
don't say that.
It's brutal for me to watch. That's all we got. We used to have movie stars. You know, we used to mean something.
You still got Robert De Niro. Al Pacino.
They're washed up. They're having kids at 80 years old. They're not helping us either.
They're solving the population crisis.
They're being weird.
Yeah. Well, the last
I'm
bit
the
of
last guy they got.
the last bit of stuff today, 2 days ago for you guys, today for us, the Chipotle CEO is leaving Chipotle. Apparently, similar to how their bowls can sometimes be a little light, they were doing the same thing with his paycheck. Apparently, did you hear this? His paycheck. He was like, "Can I get a little bit more?" And they were like, "That's gonna
Be extra.
be extra."
If you want to,
No, but he got lured in by Starbucks. Starbucks brought him on as CEO. So a crazy thing happened. Chipotle stock plummeted, and Starbucks' market cap went up $20 billion on this news. That's fucking bananas. That guy, I'd be walking around like my dick weighs 30 pounds. My announcement just made Starbucks stock jump $20 billion. Good God. All right. That about does it. What a dense episode. Christ on the cross. God
Christ
almighty.
on the cross.
Oh, Babu. All of the above.
God almighty.
Man.
If you're living under the rocks, say hi.
Say hi to the bugs. I want to talk about bugs when we get back or when we go into the bonus. We're also going to be talking about Kanye's dentist. I yelled at someone the other day. I'm going to talk about that.
I haven't heard about that.
I
excited to
yelled
hear
at a
that.
guy.
Oh my!
And we got something that made me laugh. Some racism in cartoons.
What?
Yeah, some racism in cartoons. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning
Thanks
in,
for
everybody.
tuning in.
Bye.